Welcome to Triple Option Sports Podcast, brought to you by Wild Roots Vodka, Oregon's infused vodka company. So, without further ado, here are your hosts, Matt, John, and Jesse.
All right, welcome back to another week with all three of us from Triple Option Sports. Today's podcast is a unique and special one. We got a couple things we're going to go through. One, we got to jump in on the NBA playoffs and what the heck is going on with my Trail Blazers. That's right, they're my Blazers. And we got a special guest interview coming right at the end of the podcast. Jeff Lewis, CEO and co-founder of the AFFL, American Flag Football League, is on the podcast tonight, so we love that. And then we got a lot of stuff going on in the NFL with Dez Bryant and C.J. Anderson and Aaron Rodgers. Is Brady retiring? So we're going to go through all that, so stay tuned through each segment. It's going to be a good night. I have to do the do, which is I got to introduce my guys. So I got a new arrangement now. If you've seen our new logo, I got Jesse on my right. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm on your right, and I now get introduced first.
Yep.
You know, here's the thing: is I go through a prep work. I like to mute my mic and get my words all ready. I go through the unique New York. Just make sure that my words sound great. I was a little thrown off that you just came to me, and I don't know if I like this, Matt.
Well, when you screw up on the logo and put somebody on the wrong side, I at least can do it justice by introducing you first.
I didn't screw it up, but yeah, for sure. I guess you're taking. Is that you taking responsibility?
Me taking responsibility.
Oh, well, see, you're not normally that type of guy, so I figured you were putting it on me just now somehow.
Once a year. And to my left, Mr. John Radford. How you doing, Rad?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little upset that I'm on the left, because I feel like the left hand is for the weak man. When you give a handshake or you give any type of love, do you use your left or your right hand? You're right.
I'm on your left. I don't give any man love with any of my hands. So, but
you would take it there.
It's what you said, man. You said it.
Anytime you shake somebody's hand, do you use your right hand or your left hand, Matt?
I'm right-handed, so it's my right hand.
Everybody uses their right hand.
No,
it doesn't matter if you.
Not if you're left-handed. Who do you know that's left-handed?
My daughter.
And does she shake with the left
Case
or right? You can't bring the kids up. Like we talked about that. That's like the ultimate stop.
Asking if I knew anybody that was left-handed.
All right. That's a good point.
But I'm good. I'm ready to talk sports, baby. We got a huge interview at the end. But I'm feeling good. What's
going on in the NBA? Like I'm obviously frustrated with the Blazers. We got the Cavs losing first game. I think they came back tonight though, won the second. Like give me your guys' thoughts on the state of the playoffs.
All right. Well, let's go through series by series because I'm going to save Portland for last that way we can get all of our frustration out before we move on to the NFL chatter, and we'll put this behind us. All right. So we'll start in the East. All right. We'll make this easy, and then we'll work our way towards the frustration we have with Portland. So Raptors are up 2-0 versus the Wizards. I don't think there's really any surprises there. The Raptors should coast up until the point where they have to play Cleveland, which unfortunately for them is next round. I'm not that shocked. I think that they were supposed to win the series, and the Wizards will probably win a game, but the Raptors are a better team. What do you think, Radford?
I don't see the Wizards winning a game. I think they're going to sweep. Like you said, the Raptors are a better team. DeRozan's playing nice. They got a nice little team. CJ Miles out there shooting well. I don't see the Wizards getting not one game. They're going to be rested up, wait for Cleveland, because I think Cleveland might go 6 or 7, to be honest. Cleveland's going to win, but they're going to go 6 or 7 games, and they're going to be rested waiting for Cleveland. And I don't really like that because I want Cleveland to take the East. But that Raptor series is over, man.
I don't think it matters. I think the Cavs have the Raptors number, and really I think that the Cavs are in this spot where they're probably built to go 6 or 7 every single round this playoffs. It's just kind of the way that it is, and Love's super fragile, got hurt again tonight. Big shocker.
He's so soft.
It's so frustrating. You and I have talked about it. Can I?
Cupcake.
I'm just gonna kind of tear away for a second because I've made the joke, and I'm gonna throw it out here. It's not really a joke, but I am legitimately playing sports on 2 broken ankles. I know you've had some knee issues, and we pay to play in sports because we love them. And then we got these pansies out here getting paid millions that can't even get on a court with like a sore thumb or a bruised foot. It's just embarrassing. Seriously, like toughen up a little bit, for God's sakes.
Kevin Love been soft. He's so soft. I know he better play next game.
He is. It sounds like he's going to play, but the guy, it's funny. He made like a big 3 in this game, and then he comes down court like clutching his back. I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like every time. And then it's 6 minutes later, he's hurting his thumb, and it's just like, oh my gosh, with this guy. Frustrating.
Can I get a sock bet on one of the games?
Which game?
I don't think Cleveland's going to make it out. I think Pacers are going to take him.
I got a sock bet.
I'll take that bet.
Okay.
I'll take it.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. So we both have sock bets, so it's locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Yep. Thanks, Matt.
No worries. I'll enjoy the socks from you too.
Right.
Okay.
Goodness sakes.
So now, we touched on that Cleveland series. We both think Cleveland's going to pull out. It's going to be a tough one, but they're going to pull it out.
Yeah.
I do want to give Oladipo a little bit more respect.
Yeah.
Because I was the biggest Oladipo hater. One, because I watched him. Well, I thought he was good when he was down in Orlando, but then he got over here to OKC, and he couldn't give Russ no help. So I just felt like he was trash. I always knew he was good defensively, but then when he got with OKC, he couldn't help Russ do nothing. Now he's on the Pacers, and he just seems like the most improved player in the NBA. And I haven't got to see him play into the playoffs, and now that I'm seeing him play, he's kind of cool. I'm gonna give Oladipo his respect. He's a cool little 2 guard.
You think maybe it's because Westbrook doesn't make people around him better?
Well, actually, he said he learned a lot from spending that 1 year with Russell Westbrook. So
he said he learned a lot. That doesn't mean that he learned
I don't know.
Learned because Westbrook did things right. He just said he learned a lot.
Westbrook does things right. He's last year's MVP.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. But LeBron for 46 tonight. And I think we talked about it. As soon as Lance Stevenson threw that vicious hook, basically is what I'll call it, at LeBron in game 1, we both said it, like he's going to go apeshit in game 2. And that's exactly what he did. He came out and scored their first 16 points. They started up 19-3. And LeBron was making sure that they were not going to lose tonight. That was for damn sure.
He needs to stay in that kill mode.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole playoffs, he needs to stay in kill mode.
He's not.
He will.
He won't. He's not going to do it. So it's fine. But
Lord,
we'll take those socks. All right. So Sixers and Heat. That series is 1-1. What do you think is going to happen there?
I'm taking Philly. And that could go 6 or 7. Also, I don't know. I'm a huge Ben Simmons fan. They're not getting back Embiid yet, but I think he's going to return probably in like game 5. And once he comes back, I think he'll be back about 5. Game 5, game 6. Yes, I do. But Ben Simmons, I think, rookie of the year. He's I'm not going to put him on that next LeBron James. He's a cool little low-budget LeBron James. That's how I kind of look at him. He's kind of like I think his game's kind of more Jason Kidd, to be honest. But I'm rooting Philly in this one. And I think they're going to win it in 6 or 7.
I think they win it in 7 if Embiid's not back by game 4. What if they lose game 3 in Miami, which certainly can happen?
True.
Do you think that they make sure that Embiid plays in game 4, or do you think that they kind of stay the course there?
If they lose, I think they're going to bring Embiid back.
Okay.
I mean, you kind of have to.
I agree.
I mean, he's a top 5 big center, top 5 big man. You got to bring back.
Well, and Embiid's super frustrated too. He's just like, quit coddling me. Like, I want to play. He's one of the guys that actually does want to play. So big ups to you, Joel Embiid. For God's sake.
Had it been Kevin Love, he'd retire.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, my face is broken. This is it. Calling it a career, folks.
What's
I
your
could see him doing it.
what's your guys' take on Dwayne Wade talking trash to Iverson and Hart at Kevin Hart at the last game?
It was all in good fun. You know it is.
Yeah.
It was him going all Reggie Miller-ish kind of. I don't know. Dwayne Wade, he still has flashes. And it's fun to see him show out every once in a while for sure. And I'm happy he's back in Miami. I'm happy that he got one last playoff run, but unfortunately for him, I think the Sixers are going to knock him out.
For sure. I agree with that.
All right, here's the one that surprised me the most. Celtics up 2 versus the Bucks.
Okay, hold on. I just want to put this out here right now.
No, I'll say it.
I'm just going to – I called it 4-1. But go ahead and tell them what you thought it was going to be.
Oh, I thought the Bucks were going to sweep them. I really did. Well, clearly I'm wrong, but
Boston 4-1.
Here's the problem is that I don't know, talent for talent. I don't think that these teams are close without Kyrie and Hayward. I don't think that the talent is even on the same playing field, but coaching does matter, and I underestimated it. I really did. And Celtics are just flat out they're just playing better as a team, and it's because of the coaching staff and the leadership. And I didn't foresee that happening. The 2 best players are probably on the Bucks. Clearly the best players on the Bucks. Like, that's not a question. But I'd say 3 of the top 4 players are probably on the Bucks as well, but they can't figure it out. So, hey, I was wrong, but good for the Celtics, I guess. I mean, it just shocked me. I didn't see it happening.
Is
that young talent out there.
Is Kyrie coming back at all this year?
No.
I didn't think so.
There's no point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what right now. Next year, if Hayward and Kyrie are healthy, the Celtics are going to be nasty. Because you're getting all these guys right now, all this experience without those 2, and then now they get to be like, they all get pushed back 2 notches as far as what they have to bring to the team. They're going to be a nasty team next year.
Rozier's playing nice.
He's playing phenomenal.
Do you trade Kyrie and just let Rozier run the show and see if you can get another big one? Shit, I don't know. Kyrie's injury prone. I don't know. I like to make moves. If it me, I'd get Kyrie out of there for Anthony Davis, and you can have Al Horford.
You ain't getting Anthony Davis. Come on.
For Kyrie and Al Horford, and a first-round pick.
Stop.
Jeez.
No, that series is Boston 4-1.
Well,
and then
we'll see.
Houston, Minnesota's next.
Yeah.
Sweep.
Sweep.
Do we really need to talk about that?
I mean, Harden didn't play well. Harden didn't play well in game 2, and Paul didn't play well in game 1, and they made it past both those games rather easily. I get it. It was kind of close in game 1, and Paul had that late turnover to certainly make it closer, but look, they're easily winning this series. It's not close.
No, it's not at all.
How about your Thunder, though? They are in trouble.
Yeah.
It's 1-1.
Yeah. Going back to Utah. The big 3 went 0 for 14 in the fourth quarter tonight.
It's 1-1. Dang, everybody had the flu. They all was playing through the flu.
Oh, okay, here we go.
I'm serious. My boy told me in Oklahoma, everybody catching that swine flu. They may have a little taste of it. Dang.
They ain't got no flu. Westbrook showed up dressed to the nines for this game, all like tuxed out too. So he didn't know flu.
Man, OKC gonna pull it off. Come on, let's be real.
They should, but it's not that clear cut. 1-1 going back to Utah. I mean, look, you never know.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
All right. Well, Warriors and Spurs. Let's move on.
That's a sweep, also.
Hey, on a serious note, though, shout out to Popovich, his wife. That's sad.
Yeah,
news.
that's rough. Yeah,
it is.
It's yeah.
Is it in poor taste to ask if that will somehow turn the Spurs around to win against the Warriors?
It might drive them to a win in Game 3. No, I don't think it's poor taste. That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, oh, they might actually win Game 3. Just kind of get one for Pop. But
yeah,
Is Kawhi playing?
Kawhi's not playing, dude.
So
he's not even
sweep.
with the team. Which, by the way, speaking of bitch moves, how are you not gonna be with your team? Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
like,
it's bad.
shut up.
I don't know. Kawhi don't care, man. He's ready to move on to a different team, and they will get swept.
You can have CJ Nurk. We'll take him in Portland.
You want to do a sock bet on the swept, Redford?
Golden State, San Antonio.
Yeah, I think San Antonio.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
San Antonio at least wins one game.
I'll take it.
All right.
Golden State for sweep. I'll take that.
All right.
Naylor, I like that trade. Nurk and CJ McCollum for Kawhi. All day.
Just saying.
All day. And we'll throw you Myers Leonard.
Yeah.
Get his money off the books. There you go.
You've been
You can
trying to
take
get
him
rid
too.
of that man forever.
Myers Leonard has to go, bro.
He's so
You know how much
terrible.
that man is getting paid to be
I
the
know.
10th man?
I
Get him
know.
off the books.
Honestly, they can have any two players they want as long as Lillard's not in that. And I'll do it.
That's how I feel too right now.
Yeah.
They're going back to New Orleans, and Blazers are probably going to get swept.
Yeah, there's a good chance of that happening.
It is, and it's sad to say that, but it is. It's a good chance.
Yeah.
I think Portland still makes it 6. I'm going to say that they win. They'll win game 3 and they'll win game 5, and then they'll lose it in 6. But either way, they should have won the series.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is a freak. I get that. But
It's the guard play.
it is 100%.
Their guards are playing better than our guards. Rondo's out here playing like old Celtic Rondo, and then Holiday is just playing lights out on both ends of the court, and our guards are just folding. Dame ain't showing up until damn near the fourth quarter. And is CJ McCollum even playing?
I mean, he had, 22 last night, but it was
real
an
quiet.
ugly, real
It was
ugly
real-
22.
Real quiet.
Yeah.
This is the thing that bugs me, and this is what caught my eye, and I caught it very early. I've been saying for a few years that CJ needed to go, and it was exciting. We got the 3 seed, whatever. We knew we weren't going past round 2 max anyways, but the eyeball test tells me more than ever that CJ needs to go. CJ makes Drew Holiday look like he's like 6'8", 240. Like he's
For
so
real.
undersized, it's not even funny. And Holiday's only 6'4", 205, but he looks so much bigger and physically stronger than CJ. It's not even close. And by the way, Holiday is supposed to be a point guard. So if he's that physically imposing on our 2 guard, that should tell you something. I like CJ a lot, and I think that he has a great career, but him and Dame have to be split up, and there's no way we're getting rid of Dame. Dame's the guy here. He's going to finish his career in a Portland uni, but CJ has got to go if we're ever going to legitimately have a chance at winning a title.
For sure. We really do need to look and try to get Kawhi.
For sure.
That's not a bad move, because then, Alpha Rikamuna can move to the bench. We have a bright spot, and I said it when we drafted him, Zach Collins. I like his game.
Swanigan's nice too.
Game. I haven't seen much of him play. I've seen him a little bit in the summer league, but I haven't seen him season. But Zach Collins, he got a nice little skill set, and it's gonna do nothing but get better. So I feel like we do have a 4 moving forward, but I would like to get Kawhi and just move on from CJ. Man. But you got to go, because I don't know, man. I do not know. It's bad that we are down 0-2.
It's bad. Very bad.
All just guard play. They just outplaying our guards. It's, man.
Well, they know how to. They're playing the perfect way to beat us. They're trapping Lillard, forcing the ball out of his hands, and they're welcoming the pick and roll with him when he gets matched up with Davis, because they know Davis is athletically gifted enough and long enough to keep up with them and cause them problems. So they're welcoming that pick and roll, which is normally a nightmare for other teams, and trapping him. So he doesn't have a choice but to get rid of the ball. He can't just jack up, although He's not afraid to jack up a deep three, but he can't. That's not how you win games.
Yeah, I thought we had a chance in that last game. It was close, but
super frustrating. Oh my gosh, so frustrated.
Blow it at the end.
Anyways, let's move on to football.
Why is there?
This is frustrating, man. You guys get me all excited about basketball again, and I'm like, oh, I'm out here making live videos from the playground, and now I'm all upset because my Blazers are doing horrible. So
y'all should have heard y'all.
Yeah,
like that.
Frustrating.
All right. Well, give me my Zoloft, man, please.
Yeah, give me.
That's bad, huh?
Anti-anxiety meds.
Hurt, but I'm not. Y'all is who?
You guys like my? What's that?
I was gonna say, good thing we have the interview to carry the rest of this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. You guys, I know you guys like my live video from the playground, right? Like I got respect for that, or
I seen it. I seen little LeBron James basketball. Like I like it. You know what I mean?
See, I told
you were not getting buckets though.
What's that?
You wasn't out there to get buckets.
Oh, okay. Next time I'll film it live, me just draining threes on the playground for you. So you can come witness the greatness. But yes, let's get to the NFL. Dez Bryant cut. All you Cowboy fans, I'm curious if you're hurt, if you're happy, but where do you think he lands, guys?
I think he lands Giants.
No.
I think he's gonna stay in the division, man. He want to give it to the Cowboys twice a year. And I hope he does. Like on my Facebook live video, I hope he goes to the Giants where he can draw the second corner and murder them every week. He would kill with it. If he's smart, he go get it with a solid quarterback, go be the Robin so he can eat. That's what he needs to do. He's going to have a decent quarterback, so he better make his decision right. Don't just go land with anybody.
Yeah, watch.
That's what I think.
He's going to end up on the Ravens.
I wouldn't make that. I would go to New York, play the Cowboys twice a year. But Dez should have known he was getting cut anyways. Like, he wasn't worth all that money. We called that on podcast, months ago, that he was going to get cut. So, but what I don't like the most, though, is how NFL Network has just been pumping this man up all week. It was all about Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And me and Naylor was talking about this. Like, it was so much Dez Bryant on NFL Network. It's to us like maybe Dez Bryant is one of the greatest of all time. Like maybe the Lions should pick him up. Maybe the Niners should pick him up. And you go look at his stats like, shit. Like, they just pumping him up. Dez Bryant's greatest moments. Top 10 greatest moments. Like, hold on. This man ain't had 1,000 yards in 4 years. Calm down. But I hope he goes to the Giants.
I'll take him as a Seahawk any day because we ain't got anything in Seattle at all.
Y'all need him. Y'all need him.
Yeah.
You know what I would do if I was him? I would go to the Texans and take all that Texas love and just put it over on the Houston Texans and just take as much shine away from the Dallas Cowboys as I can. Because you think about it with him and Hopkins, J.J. Watt. I mean, they're the team in Texas, not Dallas.
Yep.
That's what I would do. You may not get to play the Cowboys, and that's whatever, but you're going to compete. And you just, if you can stay in the same state and just take it all away from Dallas, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm curious that what's his name, Cortland Sutton, I believe his name was working out for the Cowboys. They're taking a look at him, so I didn't think they would replace Dez with somebody in the draft, but you never know. So
yeah, they're going to have to. It may not be the first round. I think in the mock of what I think they should do, I took old boy from Alabama and said that I was going to cut Dez, and then here we go, Dez is cut. But I don't know if they necessarily do it in the first round, but they've got to find somebody. And there's some good receivers in the second round. I think Sutton's would be a good draft choice for him for sure. What's
your guys' thought on C.J. Anderson being cut? I didn't think that was going to happen, to be honest.
I didn't really see that one happening either.
Mm-mm.
I didn't.
Does that mean Saquon goes there, you think, or?
I don't know. It's good. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about that. Because they got the pick at 5. He's not going to fall to 5, I don't think.
No. I don't think he's going past the Giants at 2.
No, I think he's going past the Giants at 2.
I don't think so.
Yeah, Giants are definitely going quarterback. or trading out of the pick. That's what I'll say.
Well, and there's rumors out there the Browns are going QB first and fourth.
I know. What the hell?
That is
Okay.
nuts.
That can't happen. There's no way.
Yeah, that's stupid. But yeah, I mean, Anderson's a good player.
He is. He's solid. I mean, he has flashes when he's okay, but he gets hurt a lot too. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't want the Lions to pick him up. And, we still need running back, but I wouldn't pay C.J. Anderson.
Yeah, but
maybe the Seahawks. He might land with the Seahawks.
Yeah,
He could.
He's
Yeah.
a running back.
Yeah.
No, that's
Running
true.
back.
That's true. He'll do well. He'll do well there. I mean, they had 1,000 yards in with the Broncos with horrible quarterbacks there. I mean, the line's pretty comparable, but yeah. I would take him in a heartbeat.
How old is C.J. Anderson?
27.
27. Yeah, he's still young.
Yep.
I think a Seahawks is a great place for him. Good job, Radford. I like that.
I'll take it.
Thank you.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, it's almost like you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's good.
Shit.
He's not good enough to
I
be
know
on
my
the
football.
Lions, but but
No, he's not. I'd rock LeGarrette Blount and Theo Riddick instead of paying C.J. Anderson.
What's all this? Tom Brady hasn't committed to 2018, 2019 season, possible retirement. Like, I feel like that's all hype.
100%. I mean, we're bored. We're trying to get
News.
headlines.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
There's no way. There's no way. If he didn't play, Robert Kraft would have egg all over his face for forcing Belichick to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. You forced his hand there because the plan was this was Jimmy G's team starting this year, and Brady was the one that was going to get cut, which I believe was the right move. But you forced his hand, and so look. Here you go. This is what you get. And the reason they got this freak show circus going on in the offseason where everybody's questioning the team and everybody's questioning what's going on behind the scenes and all this other crap all started with Robert Kraft and that one decision right there. He took all of the power away from Belichick and gave it to the players. And now you're starting to see people acting out. So the problems are because of him.
Yeah, they were trying to say that Tom versus Time Facebook thing at his last episode. He sounded like he actually was contemplating retirement. I'm like, stop reading into like a voice inflection. Like, really?
Yeah, now they think that. Nobody said that 2 months ago.
Yeah, when it finally aired. I'm like, come on.
Right.
They're also talking about Pats want to pick up Rosen, which I think is interesting. So.
They're going to use their 2 picks to move up?
They'd have to give up if they wanted to get up to number 2, which is probably where they'd have to be. They would have to give up both their first round picks this year and probably their first round pick next year to get the Giants to consider it. Which, hey, I mean,
bad because their pick's going to be in the high 20s or 30s anyways next year. So
for sure,
I'd do it.
For sure,
I'd do it for Baker Mayfield though.
Giants won't trade him because Giants hate Patriots. So
yeah, but I would do it if I was the Giants. To be honest with you, if you're going to give me 3 first round picks for him,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
It depends. I mean, if they're trying to win now, still, if their mentality is, look, we're going to stay competitive, but we've got a chance at getting our future quarterback too, and they're steadfast on that, then obviously you stay at 2. But if you really are in a win now situation, I would rather have the 3 players I'm going to get in the first round on top of my already first round pick next year over just Saquon Barkley. I mean, Saquon's great, don't get me wrong, but he's not better than 3 first rounders.
No. Yeah. Oh, Radford thinks he is.
I don't know about that.
Running backs are dime a dozen. I get
you can say that, but it's something that's just so elite to where it's like you can't pass up on. Like when Adrian Peterson was coming out, you knew he was going to be the guy. Like there's some you just gotta pull that trigger on him and just take him. If I'm the Giants, I'm taking Saquon. I'm not giving the Patriots nothing. I'm not making the Patriots better. And the Giants is kind of still in a win now mode because, I mean, they got the pieces. Odell, Janoris Jenkins is about to touch his 30s, so you better do it. You still got a decent secondary. You gave up JPP. I don't know why they did that, but they paid all that money for that defense who played top 5 defense, not last season, but the season before. So you already got a defense, and you got a receiving core and a tight end. Get Saquon, and they complete. I really think if they can pick up Saquon Barkley, the Giants are guaranteed 9 wins next season. Guaranteed.
Okay, so
remember I said that if they
say,
take Saquon, they're guaranteed 9.
I'm going to throw this out there real quick. So let's just say, just based off of where people are going, they could get Harold Landry, the edge rusher out of Boston College. You can get, let's say they get that interior lineman that you really liked from Iowa. That's where he's at, right? Iowa, yeah, let's say the center. Because they do need a center now. So they get center, they get a defensive end. Let's say they take...
What defensive end, though? Because I don't think Landry's probably beat her at 23. And he's more of a outside linebacker edge rusher. And they run a 4-3. So I don't really see him playing a 4-3 DN in the league. But continue. Go ahead. Let me hear you.
Well, let's say, whatever. You get an edge rusher.
Say that. Okay, that's center. I'm a huge fan of that.
You get the center, you get an edge rusher, and then you get a first-round pick next year, and you can go, I don't know, who's a running back that's going round 2 that's legitimate?
You can probably have like Sony Michel, Chubb.
Yeah.
But I think that's a huge drop-off. From Barkley to Sony Michel or Chubb.
It is, but you need other pieces. You need a center, and you still need a pass rusher. So if you can get both of them at elite level still, and still take care of your running back position, I don't know, man. Maybe they go get C.J. Anderson. Let them go get C.J. Anderson. You're telling me that Saquon Barkley is better than C.J. Anderson, that center, and a defensive pass rusher? First round talent defensive pass rusher? Nah, man. No way. He's not that good.
I think he's that good.
Not.
Yeah.
I really do think he's that good. I that center's that good too, but I think Saquon is very good.
What's the deal with Saquon not wanting to go to Cleveland all of a sudden, or at least coming out and saying it, or didn't say it, or what's the deal?
Yeah, that was interesting. They said it got leaked from his camp. And then all of a sudden he came out and was like, oh, no, that's not true. I love to play in Cleveland. So I don't know. I think he did the PR thing, but I think that he probably legitimately doesn't want to go to Cleveland for whatever reason. I don't know why people are hating on Cleveland. Like, they've done a good job at turning things around, and I'd want to play in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They got some pieces.
They got some pieces now. It's not going to be a 0-16 team at all. So.
Nah, they'll win at least 8 games.
And then your boy Baker Mayfield popping off at the mouth. Oh, I'm not gonna make it past 5. It's gonna be easy.
He's not.
I know, but like it's a common knowledge thing now. It's not cool to talk about. Like if you're him. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we all know it, so there's no need to brag about it anymore.
I feel you.
I don't know. Person that should be frustrated right now with everything is Aaron Rodgers, because Green Bay don't care about Aaron Rodgers. They just make decisions and say, just throw us the football. Just do your job. So, I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The whole Aaron Rodgers thing, I think, I get the NFL doesn't necessarily operate probably the way that the NBA does, but I think that you should consult with a guy like Aaron Rodgers before you cut his number 1 target. That's just me. And I'd be frustrated if I was him too.
I would too. I guess they saying Devontae Adams is the guy now, so they paid him that money. Matt thinks he's top 10 receiver in the NFL, so we don't need to talk to Aaron about nothing.
I'll call Aaron and let him know.
Get Jordy out of there.
I'll give him a heads up. I know.
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, it'd be good. Check it out. What's his name? James Harrison officially retired this week.
Yeah, he did.
Which is, that guy's a beast.
Future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, easy Hall of Famer. You ever watch his like YouTube videos of him working out? It's like nuts.
Oh, he's a freak. He's a freak.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, so I'm looking at this draft stuff. Sorry, I got to make my point here. So let's say they get Arden Key, who's
I'm taking
the pass
Saquon.
rusher out of LSU. They get your boy Geis in round 2, and they get your center. You're taking Saquon over those 3 guys? Stop, man.
So now it sounds better. When you throw in Geis, like that sounds a lot better. But I don't think Geis is making it out the first round. But if Geis fall, if he fell to the second round, like now it's sounding better. But I just don't think he's gonna be there. I think like Sony Michel or Chubb's gonna be there, and then it's like, no, I'm taking Saquon. Saquon is nice, man. He's the best running back come out since Adrian Peterson.
I'm not saying. Look, I agree. Like he is super nice. That is not the.
You just see what Cole running back can do for a team. Like look what he did for Dallas 2 seasons ago when Zeke blew up the scene. Look what it did for the Jaguars. They just hand the ball off Leonard Fournette. Like it changes the game. You don't put as much pressure on your quarterback, and Eli's not playing the best football. Help him out. Open up the run game's going to open up the pass game. So if you can get that top tier running back, it's just going to make it a lot easier for you to win games, especially if you got a good defense.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, running backs are a dime a dozen. Like they just are.
I mean, yeah, what Hunt got picked up in the 3rd, and I believe what's your boy's name to be dressing like a
what's his Kamara?
Why has he got to be my boy? He's on your fantasy team. This is the year to keep it.
Hey, he gets points. So yeah, you could be on the team, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Kamara. Yeah,
Kamara.
Like you can get a late round running back, but Saquon's just too hard to pass up, and I feel like Cleveland need to go and take him at the number 1 pick.
Speaking of running backs, John, I do have to bring up, because you do know who plays in the AFFL. It's Mr. Job at Best. That's your boy. So,
Mr. One Season Job at Best. Yeah. He was decent. No, Job at Best was cool. Like he showed flashes, but them concussions caught up to him.
Yeah,
he showed some flashes for the Lions.
Yeah, American
That's
Flag.
Cool. I'm excited.
American Flag Football League's pretty legit. So they got some players showing up. Mike Vick, Ocho Cinco, T.O., Vince Young, Nate Robinson. They got some players. So for those of you,
flag football's fun too, man. Like,
yeah,
I've been playing it for years. Radford's played it with me. It's really fun to play, but you get all those stars together, in a real talented, like legit athlete caliber game, and it's going to be fun to watch. And I think that they're doing it right by getting everything in place to be on the NFL Network. They're filling that void for all of us that are going to be fiending for the NFL come late June, early July. I think they're doing a great job, and their league is put together very, very well. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, come July 19th, it would be the only live sports event on TV, and you got 2 teams playing for $1 million. So
I will be watching.
It's gonna be good. It starts June 30th. Right now they're whittling down the teams. It was 128 teams from 7 different regions, and it's gonna get whittled down to 2 teams for $1 million. So it's a pretty fun game to watch too. Watching these guys, they're pretty athletic, man. The mobile quarterbacks. I talked to Jeff a little bit about it. You got some wheels on you to play this one. So.
For sure. Well, it sucks that Radford and I couldn't be a part of the interview, but for technical difficulty reasons, it made sense to have you run the show. So I want to say thank you for putting that together, Matt, and getting the interview locked down and done with Jeff. I think that it was super cool to have him on before this thing blows up. And I think that this is one of those things that we're going to look at and say, I remember when we were still early in our podcast, we were, sitting around 3,000-4,000 listeners before we started doing big things. And we had Jeff from the AFFL on before they started doing big things. I think that it's something that we're going to look back on and definitely take this moment in and enjoy it. So
yeah,
thank you for doing that, Matt. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. It was a good time. And so without further ado, Let's kick into the Jeff Lewis Triple Option Sports interview. All right, listeners, I'm super excited. Today we have a special guest. We have the CEO and co-founder of the American Flag Football League, Jeff Lewis. Thank you for joining us today, sir.
Happy to be here, Matt.
So, before we jump into American Flag Football and U.S. Open of Football, I know my listeners, we've done our research. We understand you are a huge Giants fan. Is that correct?
That's true. That's correct, yes.
So we have to ask, who do you want the Giants to draft in the upcoming draft this year?
That is a great question. I'm pretty sure that the guy I want them to take is not the guy they're going to take. By all accounts, for whatever reason, they're not loving Josh Rosen, but that would be my pick.
Yeah, that's the common between me and my partners as well. We were thinking quarterback, or there's a lot of fanfare out there for Saquon Barkley, so we just wanted to get your thoughts as being a Giants fan. So,
yeah, well, I do subscribe to this theory that running backs are so dependent on the quality of their line that, the best athlete at running back, if you don't have a great offensive line, just isn't going to separate himself. And lots of guys can if you have a great line. So it seems like they're using up a lot of capital on the second pick to pick a running back, even one who's pretty clearly as talented as Barkley is.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, well, U.S. Open of Football and American Flag Football League, we got to know, how did that, obviously you were a hedge fund manager before, but how did that come to fruition? Kind of walk us through how that happened.
Well, it started with, I have a son who's a seventh grader, and he's been playing flag in New York City since first grade, the NFL flag program. Somehow we've never been the Giants. We've been the Patriots, the Steelers, the Raiders. We've been a lot, but we've never been the Giants. But anyway, they assign you the teams. But playing that game, all those years, I just noticed that the game is very entertaining to watch, even if it's being played by kids, and especially in those earlier years. In second grade, third grade, most sports played by kids aren't exactly, thrilling entertainment. So the fact that flag football sort of had a story and kind of held together, played by little kids, just sort of made us feel like it would, basically ask the question of what would it look like, if it was played by world-class athletes.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
And so we started testing it. And the first place that we tested it is I went up to my old high school in Westchester County a couple of years ago, when they were in the middle of preseason practice. And these kids, by the way, high school kids look real different from how we looked when I was in high school. I can tell you that. They look like grown men now.
Yeah.
But these kids were finishing up a preseason practice, and around here that means it's probably about 85 degrees and humid, and you're pretty beat after those practices. And these kids, volunteered to play flag and go through a bunch of different, different kind of formats and sets of rules and everything, so we could test some things. And the most amazing thing was we couldn't get them to stop.
Nice.
They wouldn't stop playing, even though they had just finished practice, even though they were exhausted. And I said to one of the kids, this kid was a quarterback, he could throw the ball about 45 yards with a real zip to it. And I said, so how often do you guys, what's your mix, run, pass? And he goes, pass? We never pass. And that kind of got me thinking about how that's probably a pretty common story, in a lot of these, school teams. It's just, passing is so complex and running is much easier to execute. So even if you have the athletes, even if you have a kid that can whip the ball around like these kids could, they don't even get that chance to have that kind of fun, playing the game. So they were clearly having just a blast, and it kind of turned into little kids again. And what we saw is every time we tested it, and then we went up and played with some college kids, and we played with some D1s, and then finally we did that launch game last year that we filmed that's on YouTube that now has over 1.5 million views. And every single time you play the game, the same thing happens. You just see people just kind of get so enthusiastic, get very competitive. It's a very aggressive game. This is not, this is not a picnic here. This is a very physical, aggressive game. It's not a collision sport, but there's certainly a lot of contact. And anybody who comes to one of our games or watches one of our games is going to see there's a tremendous amount of the soul of football in this game.
Yep. No, that makes sense. That was my question too. So obviously the physicality of it. Do you tend to think the AFFL lends more towards a mobile quarterback, or would you could a standard traditional pocket passer, say Eli or Peyton or anybody else, do fine in your league?
Well, I think just like in traditional football, either style can work. I think that's true in our game too, because of the fact that we have the go clock. The go clock is designed to replicate the conditions of the pocket in traditional football. So the 2 seconds before you can be rushed and then the 4 seconds to complete a play, that basically gets the quarterback making decisions on a kind of 2.5 to 3 second average, which is exactly what you see in the National Football League, 2.5 second average release time. So there's plenty of guys who can't run who, operating in that kind of time frame, have been very effective quarterbacks. You know, we also have basically the same matchup out in space that you would see in traditional football, which is 7 mobile, linebackers, secondary guys chasing 5 mobile targets for the quarterback. It's exactly the same.
Yep.
So in theory, a guy who could just pick you apart with his arm could be very effective in our game, even if he can't run. And just like in traditional football, if you have a guy like that, you're going to want to use all your blitzes. You're going to want to rush him at every possible opportunity and see if you can test him and, minimize his time. But probably the ideal quarterback is Mike Vick in his prime, right?
Yep.
Mike Vick can throw the ball probably with more zip than anybody in the world, and he was probably the fastest guy in the field. So I'll take that guy.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we're happy to have him playing again this year.
Yeah, that's great. The big question is, so obviously U.S. Open of football, they got 70 countdown to that's in 73 days. It's going to air live on NFL Network. What can we expect to see when we watch that on NFL Network?
So the first thing you're going to see are going to be the 8 teams that have survived the 128-team U.S. Open field. So we've already played now 3 of our regional events. We've been in Florida, in California, and in Texas, 3 of the real hotbeds of football, and I've seen some really, really great athletes, and we have 13 teams that have qualified for our final 32. The weekend before Memorial Day, those final 32 teams are going to show up to the Jets practice facility in New Jersey and play 2 games and get down to 8. And it is going to be those final 8 teams will be the first ones that we see on television. Those final 8 teams are going to be playing at a really high level based on everything that we've seen. And the excitement will be the idea that, they're getting pretty close to an incredible opportunity, which is the opportunity to play against some of their heroes and the opportunity to win $1 million in that final game, that winner-take-all game on July 19th. And everybody should understand that July 19th, the only live sports that you're going to be able to watch in the United States is going to be our game. That is that is that day when 2 days after the Baseball All-Star game, there is nothing going on. So we expect everybody to come and check out the ultimate final of the U.S. Open.
Oh, for sure. I know our listeners and my team will definitely be looking forward to watching that. So speaking of teams, rumor has it you have your own team. Is that correct?
At the beginning when we were thinking about a larger tournament, I was going to have a team, but when we reduced the field to 128 and made it basically an invitation-only event, we didn't want to use up one of the spots for me. So unfortunately, I'll have to wait a little while before I get a chance to get out there and test all my coaching theories. As like every fan, I've always believed I'm a better coach than the guys I'm watching on television. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's how it works. So, and then the $1 million question is, after Eli retires, is that somebody obviously you're gonna or maybe already have invited to play in the league?
We're welcoming a lot of guys who love the game and love to play. You look at basically Danny Werfel played this weekend down in Florida. He won the Heisman Trophy 20 years ago. He's 41, 42 years old. I'd say he's probably in as good a shape as he's been since he graduated from Florida. And he was really zipping the ball and really having an amazing time. I'm sure that over time we're going to get a lot of recognizable guys, but I also think that over time, what you'll see is a sort of development where players who are really built for our game will start to kind of take up more and more of the spots. What we've seen so far is when in these three regionals, when teams that have 5, 6, 7 experienced and really talented NFL guys go up against teams of flag guys, the flag guys have been having a lot of success. The flag guys are smaller. They're very quick. They don't have the size. They don't have the thickness. They don't have the strength. But those aren't required. And so, quarterbacks, in a lot of ways, having a quarterback who can play defense, we're playing 7-on-7 with a 12-man roster. Having a quarterback who can actually sort of be a target on a pattern and stuff, more than Tom Brady was in the Super Bowl. That's very, very useful. So, that's, I think, an evolution that we're going to see. And as you know, there are so many kids playing this game that I think we're going to change the whole narrative now in terms of what, how it goes in high schools and colleges and stuff. We're going to start seeing people find, I think, a path to play flag, from childhood all the way up into the AFFL.
Yeah, no, that's kind of my follow-up question is, actually two more questions before I let you go is, safety, obviously in the NFL, rule changes with men and then concussions, but it seems like a lot of that gets eliminated for the AFFL. Have you had any kind of talk about that a little bit?
Well, I mean, football's a collision sport, and I would describe ours as a contact sport. There's no shortage of contact in our game. It's kind of the level of contact of a basketball game. And, if you've watched the NBA for the last couple of years, you've seen some pretty nasty injuries.
Yep.
So injuries can happen, in basically any sport. And the people that are running around playing our game are large guys moving at pretty high speed. So sometimes people are going to, have bad things happen, but clearly it's not going to be as much as, you would have in a collision sport. That being said, if people perceive our game to be safe, that's not going to make them watch it. If safety drove, viewership, then there would be like a backgammon channel on television, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
nobody's going to watch our game just because they believe the players aren't going to get hurt. And again, they might get hurt. So we think the real emphasis is just on the fact that when you play a game that doesn't require all that equipment and doesn't require all that protection, it gives you this huge benefit of the visibility of the players. You can hear the players, see the players, and connect to the players like you do basketball players. And I think that's probably the most important part of why basketball is having such great momentum right now, is the way that fans are feeling close to and connected to and understand kind of what the players are all about. And so playing football without all that equipment really kind of enables that process to happen in our game. That's much more difficult to happen when you're wearing pads and when you're wearing helmets.
Yeah, just that visibility and you can see the reaction and everything. I think is great. So,
and you can also see what they look like in terms of like how athletic they are. I mean, these are pretty impressive human beings, and that all gets a little bit lost, when these guys are wearing the uniform. I remember the Giants had a punter a couple of years ago, and then somebody showed me a picture of him. He was in some magazine. The guy was like the best conditioned athlete you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Steve Weatherford. And It was like, you would have no way of ever knowing that. He could have looked like a librarian under there. You had no way of knowing.
Yeah, no doubt. And then you kind of touched on it, but kind of what's the big picture for American Flag Football League? Obviously, it's tournament based currently, and we have the U.S. Open of football. But give us a little peek behind the curtain for the next couple of years.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Kind of big picture on like what's coming down the pipe for AFFL in the next couple of years. It kind of alluded to it a little bit. Is it always going to be tournament based, or kind of what can we expect from the AFFL in the next few years?
Well, our name is American Flag Football League, so I would imagine at some point we will evolve to where we have city-based teams. But I think that generally speaking, if we really have a model in terms of what we like structurally, I would sort of talk about English soccer, where they combine promotion and relegation, a whole variety of tournaments, During the year, they have the FA Cup where basically guys with jobs get a chance to play against first division teams. That's kind of a little bit of the inspiration for the U.S. Open that we're doing. And so you have that mixture of tournament play and league play. And I think that something like that is probably how we move forward.
Well, that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today, and I appreciate what you're doing with the AFFL. And the U.S. Open of Football airs on the 30th, and like you said, the only thing on July 19th to watch live sports is going to be your sport. So we're super excited. I want to say thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks a lot. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Man, that was a really, really nice interview with Jeff. I'm honored he came on the show. That American Flag Football League is going to be on fire.
It is. It's going to be very dope. And thank you for holding down the team, Matt. You did a great job in that. I'm excited to see the league. I really think Michael Vick's team's going to win the championship.
Yeah,
you're just coming out and saying it. You have fair. You don't even know who's on the teams yet.
It doesn't matter it don't matter when you got Vick out there. He's way too mobile. He got a cannon. I mean, it's good. I don't need to see any other teams. Vick's going to win it. Remember, I said it.
Well,
you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say a team that came out of the big tournament is going to win. It's not going to be a professional team.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I did like coming from a huge Giants fan that he wants him to take Rosen. I think that's good. So it's smart. So he's done with Eli, is my impression.
Yeah, he was a funny dude too. He made me laugh a couple times. That little dig he threw in towards Brady and Boston. You gotta love it coming from a Giants guy. So
yeah,
the hate is real on the East Coast. But yeah, thanks again, Matt, for holding it down. I think that the interview went great, and thank you also to the AFFL and Jeff for taking the time. It was awesome. You guys ready for me to outro?
I don't know. I have one more thing real quick. I think I found my calling with interview. I'm like the Ryan Seacrest of podcast. I'm just saying. So
got it.
All right, now you can take us out. So.
Oh,
well,
hey, hold on, real quick. Go Lions. Go ahead.
Okay. Here we go. He is at Rad1_TOS. He is at Matt_TOS. I am at JNay_TOS. You can catch us on Facebook, Triple Option Sports. You can catch us on Instagram, Triple Option Sports Podcast. YouTube, Triple Option Sports. And also, do not forget to email us. We would love to answer some of your questions on the show. TripleOptionSportsPod@gmail.com. Things to look for this weekend, NBA playoffs. And look out for our mock draft special. We are actually going to release it on a different day just to give you a couple days to ramp up and get excited for the draft. So look out for that Tuesday morning. And again, the difference between that mock draft and the one that we've already done is this is what we think is actually going to happen on draft day. So stay tuned to that. Until then, we are out.